What is man without the beasts? People choose different ways to protect the environment. Here is a speech delivered by a Red Indian chief, Seattle, more than a century ago to save his land. Chief Seattle became world famous for a moving speech he made in 1854, just before his lands were taken from him and his people. Seattle's words resonate very well in the environmental community and are in fact considered to be something like a gospel of the greens. How can you buy or sell the sky, the warmth of the land? The idea is strange to us. If we do not own the freshness of air and the sparkle of water, how can you buy them from us? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every clear and humming insect are holy in the memory and experience of my people. The sap which courses through the trees carries the memory and experience of my people. The sap which courses through the trees carries the memories of the red man. We are a part of the earth, and it is a part of us. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The deer, the horse, the great eagle, these are our brothers. The rocky crest, the juices in the meadows, the body heat of the pony, and the man all belong to the same family. So, when the great chief in Washington sends word that he wishes to buy our land, he asks much of us. The great white chief sends word that he will reserve us a place so that we can live comfortably to ourselves. He will be our father and we will be his children. So, we will consider your offer to buy land, but it will not be easy, for this land is sacred to us. The shining water that moves in streams and rivers is not just water, but the blood of our ancestors. We sell you land. You must remember that it is the sacred blood of our ancestors. If we sell you land, you must remember that it is sacred, and you must teach your children that it is sacred, and that each ghostly reflection in the clear water of the lakes tells of events in the life of my people. The water's murmur is a voice of my father's father. The rivers of our brothers quench our thirst. The rivers carry our canoes and feed our children. If we sell you our land, you must remember to teach your children that the rivers are our brothers and yours, and you must henceforth give the rivers the kindness that you would give my brothers. Precious. The air is precious to the red man, for all things share the same breath. The beast, the tree, the man, they all share the same breath. The white man does not seem to notice the air he breathes. Like a man dying for many days, he is numb to the stench. But if we sell you our land, you must remember that the air is precious to us, that the air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. The wind that gave our grandfather his first breath also receives his last sigh. And if we sell you our land, you must keep it apart and sacred, as a place where even the white man can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadow's flowers. So we will consider your offer to buy our land. If we decide to accept, I will make one condition. The white man must treat the beasts of this land as his brothers. I am a savage and do not understand any other way. I have seen thousands of rotting buffaloes on the prairie, left by the white man who shot them from a passing train. I am a savage and do not understand how the smoking iron horse can be made more important than the buffalo that you kill only to stay alive. What is man without the beast? If all the beasts were gone, man would die from a great loneliness of the spirit. For whatever happens to the beast soon happens to man. All things are connected. Respect. You must teach your children that the ground beneath their feet is the ashes of our grandfathers, so that they will respect the land. Tell your children that the earth is rich with the lives of our kin. Teach your children what we have taught our children, that the earth is our mother. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. If men spit upon the ground, they spit upon themselves. This we know, the earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. All things are connected like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life, is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. Even the white man, whose God walks and talks with him as a friend to a friend, cannot be exempt from the common destiny. We may be brothers after all. We shall see. One thing we know, which the white man may one day discover: our God is the same God. You may think now that you own him as you wish to own our land, but you cannot. He is the God of man, and his compassion is equal for the red man and the white. The earth is precious to him, and to harm the earth is to heap contempt on its creator. The whites too shall pass, perhaps sooner than all other tribes. But in your perishing you will shine brightly, fired by the strength of the God, who brought you to this land and for some special purpose gave you dominion over this land and over the red man. The destiny is a mystery to us, for we do not understand when the buffaloes are slaughtered, the wild horses tamed, the secret corners of the forest heavy with the scent of many men, and the view of the ripe hills blotted by talking wires. Where is the thicket? Gone. Where is the eagle? Gone. The end of living and the beginning of survival. About the speaker, Chief Seattle, 1786 to 1866, was the leader of Duwamish and the other Pacific Northwest tribes. The city of Seattle, Washington, bears his name. In 1854, Chief Seattle reluctantly agreed to sell tribal lands to the United States government and move to government-established reservations. Though the authenticity of the speech has been challenged, most agree that it contains the substance and perspective of Chief Seattle's attitude towards nature and the white race. Can't climb trees anymore. He stood on the grass verge by the side of the road and looked over the garden wall at the old house. It hadn't changed much. The old house, built with the solid blocks of granite, wasn't altered at all, but there was a new outhouse, and there were fewer trees. He was glad to see that the jackfruit tree still stood at the side of the building, casting its shade on the wall. He remembered his grandmother saying, "A blessing rests on the house where the shadow of a tree falls," and so the present owners must also be receiving the tree's blessings. At the spot where he stood, there had once been a turnstile, and as a boy, he would swing on it, going round and round until he was quite dizzy. Now the turnstile had gone, the opening walled up. Tall hollyhocks grew on the other side of the wall. "What are you looking at?" It was disembodied voice at first. Moments later, a girl stood framed between dark red hollyhocks, staring at the man. She was only 12 or 13, slim and dark, with lively eyes and long black hair. "I'm looking at the house," he said. "Why? Do you want to buy it?" "Is it your house?" "It's my father's." "And what does your father do?" "He's only a colonel." "Only a colonel?" "Well, he should have been a brigadier by now." The man burst out laughing. "It's not funny," she said. "Even Mummy says he should have been a brigadier." It was on the tip of his tongue to make a witty remark. Perhaps that's why he is still a colonel. But he did not want to give offense. They stood on either side of the wall, apprising each other. "Well," she said finally, "if you don't want to buy the house, what are you looking at?" "I used to live here once." "Oh, 25 years ago, as a boy, as a young man, and then my grandmother died, and we sold the house and went away." She was silent for a while, taking in this information. Then she said, "And you would like to buy it back now, but you don't have the money." He did not look very prosperous. "No, I wasn't thinking of buying it back. Wanted to see it again, that's all." "How long have you lived in it?" "Only 3 years." She smiled. She had been eating a melon, and there was still juice in the corners of her mouth. "Would you like to come in and look more closely?" "Wouldn't your parents mind?" "They have gone to the club." "They won't mind. I'm allowed to bring my friends home, even elderly friends like me." "How old are you?" "Oh, just middle-aged, but feeling young today." And to prove it, he decided he would climb over the wall instead of going round to the gate. He got up on the wall all right, but had to rest there, breathing heavily. "Middle-aged man on the flying trapeze," he muttered to himself. "I'll help you," she said, and gave him her hand. He slithered down into a flower bed, shattering the stem of a hollyhock. As they walked across the grass, he spotted a stone bench under a mango tree. It was the bench on which his grandmother used to rest when she was tired of pruning rose bushes and bougainvillea. "Let's just sit here," he said. "I don't want to go inside." She sat beside him on the bench. It was March, and the mango tree was in blossom. A sweet, rather heavy fragrance drenched the garden. They were silent for some time. The man closed his eyes and remembered other times, the music of piano, the chiming of a grandfather clock, the constant twitter of budgerigars on the veranda, his grandfather's cranking up the old car. "I used to climb the jackfruit tree," he said, opening his eyes. "I didn't like the jackfruit though. Do you?" "It's all right in pickles." "I suppose so. The tree was easy to climb. I spent a lot of time in it. Do you want to climb it again? My parents won't mind. No, not after climbing the garden wall. Let's just sit here for a few minutes and talk. I mentioned the jackfruit tree because it was my favorite place. Do you see that thick branch stretching out over the roof? Halfway along it, there is a small hollow in which I used to keep some of my treasures. What kind of treasures? Oh, nothing very valuable. Marbles, I had one. A book I wasn't supposed to read. A few old coins I had collected. Things came and went. I was a bit of a crow. Collecting bright things and putting them away. There was my grandfather's iron cross. Well, not my grandfather's exactly, because he was British and the iron cross was a German decoration awarded for bravery during the war, the First World War. When my grandfather fought in France, he got it from a German soldier, dead or alive. I beg your pardon? Oh, you mean the German? I never asked. Dead, I suppose. Or perhaps he was a prisoner. I never asked grandfather. Isn't that strange? And the iron cross, do you still have it? No, he said, looking her in the eyes. I left it in the jackfruit tree. You left it in the tree? Yes. I was so excited at the time, packing and saying goodbye to people and thinking about the ship I was going to sail on, that I simply forgot all about it. She was silent, considering, her finger on her lips, her gaze fixed on the jackfruit tree. Then quietly she said, "It may still be there, in the hollow in the branch." "Yes," he said, "it's 25 years, but it may still be there, unless someone else found it. Would you like to go and look? I can't climb trees anymore. If you can't, I'll go and see. You just sit here and wait for me." She sprang up and ran across the grass, swift and sweet of limb. Soon she was in the jackfruit tree, crawling along the projecting branch. A warm wind brought little eddies of dust along the road. Summer was in the air. "I found it," she cried. "I found something." And now, barefoot, she ran breathlessly towards him. In her outstretched hand, a rusty old medal. He took it from her and turned it over on his palm. "Is it the Iron Cross?" she asked eagerly. "Yes," he said. "This is it. Now I know why you came. You wanted to see if it was still in the tree. You may be right. I'm not really sure why I came. But you can keep the cross. You found it after all." "No, you keep it. It's yours. But it could have remained in the tree for another 25 years if you hadn't climbed up to look for it. But if you hadn't come back again, on the right day, at the right time, and with the right person," he said, getting up and placing the medal in her hands. "It wasn't the cross I came for. It was my youth." She didn't understand that, but she walked with him to the gate and stood there gazing after him as he walked away. When the road turned, he looked back and waved to her. Then he quickened his steps and moved briskly towards the bus stop. There was sprightliness in his step, and something cried aloud in his heart. Dark, dancing eyes, melon-sweet lips, lissom limbs. The mango-scented summer breeze made the blood course in his veins, and he forgot, for a moment, that he couldn't climb trees anymore. About the author. Ruskin Bond was born in Kasauli, Himachal Pradesh, in 1934. He wrote a number of short stories, essays, novels, and many books for children. The Room on the Roof was his first novel. Written when he was 17, it received the John Llewellyn Rice Memorial Prize in 1957. In 1992, he received the Sahitya Academy Award for his short story collection, Our Trees Still Grow in Tehra, given by the Sahitya Academy, India's National Academy of Literature. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 for contributions to children's literature.